Let's be real for a second. Have you ever felt like to sell anything online, you have to be loud, create endless videos, be on all the time, and write these sales pages that just scroll on forever? Well, today we're going to dive into a totally different strategy. It's a quiet, but wow, incredibly powerful method that's really designed for anyone who'd rather solve problems than shout from the rooftops.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about the big problem that makes so much of online marketing just feel exhausting. Then, we'll look at the super surprising and kind of notorious inspiration for a better way. After that, we'll unpack the strategy itself, see it in action with a real-world example, and finally, we'll see why this whole approach is basically an introvert's secret weapon.
All right, let's kick things off with a frustration that I'm pretty sure we all share, whether we're trying to buy something or sell something online. It's that feeling of just sheer exhaustion that comes with the old school way of doing things. I mean, it's a huge issue, right? We've all been there. You land on a page and you just start scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, just hoping to find the price or that one key detail you're actually looking for. Honestly, it creates this wall of friction and fatigue before a potential customer even gets close to the offer.
In this quote, it just hits the nail on the head. It's not just some random complaint, it's a real sign of a growing resistance to those high-pressure, in-your-face sales tactics. And you know what? That resistance, that's where the opportunity is for something totally different.
This slide really just lays it all out. You can see the two worlds colliding. We're talking about shifting away from a model that demands you be the face of the brand, pushing an aggressive sales pitch. The alternative is so much more subtle. It's a method that actually respects the customer's intelligence and, just as importantly, their time.
So where on earth did this new idea come from? Well, you're probably not going to believe this, but the inspiration actually comes from a place you would never, ever expect. It borrows a really powerful psychological tool from the kind of spammy world of clickbait.
You know those headlines, right? This person quit their job at McDonald's and became a millionaire thanks to, and your brain just has to know what the thanks to is. Well, this strategy hijacks that powerful structure, not the deception, not the shady content, but the irresistible pull of curiosity itself.
And here it is. This is the brilliant ethical pivot. Instead of leading people to a page full of junk ads or some kind of scam, this method uses that exact same psychological hook to guide someone to a real solution. It's all about taking a tool that's often used for bad and flipping it to use it for good.
Okay, so how do we actually build one of these things? Let's get into the nuts and bolts of what's called the curiosity funnel. And you'll see it's a surprisingly simple, really straightforward 4-step process.
The real magic here is in the system. First, you start with an anonymous presence. This could be a blog or a social page where the content is the star, not you. Next, you write a killer curiosity headline, one that creates a burning question people need answered. That headline leads them to some short-form value, a quick little article that actually helps them with something. And finally, you wrap it all up with a soft call to action, just a simple, low-pressure link for the folks who are genuinely interested in going deeper.
All right, theory's great, but let's make this real. Let's see this thing in the wild. We're going to walk through the exact case study from the source material, and it's all about promoting an all-in-one business tool called Système IO. So this is the headline that kicks the whole thing off. Now pay attention to what it doesn't do. It doesn't mention the product name. It doesn't list any features. It just presents a really painful financial problem and hints at some kind of secret solution. That right there, that's the curiosity gap. So once someone clicks that headline, they land on a short article that shows them this simple table. Now, this isn't a hard sell. It's more like a diagnosis. It clearly visualizes the financial pain of juggling a bunch of expensive tools, a problem that a ton of online entrepreneurs can immediately relate to. And boom, here's the aha moment. After showing the monthly pain, the article just crystallizes the annual cost of the problem. A big number like this is such a powerful emotional trigger. It takes this abstract problem of paying for software and makes it feel incredibly concrete and urgent. And now look at the call to action. It's not some demanding, flashy buy now button. It's just a simple, low-pressure invitation. See, at this point, the funnel has already done its job. It's presented a problem and hinted at a solution. The only people who are going to click that link are the ones who genuinely feel that pain, which means it naturally filters for the absolute best leads. It's so smart. So who is this strategy really for? Well, it's pretty much a game changer for anyone who doesn't want to be the face of their brand. You know, the writers, the thinkers, the strategists, basically the introverts among us. I mean, just look at the advantages here.
You can absolutely crush it with this method without ever showing your face or posting about what you had for breakfast. All your energy goes into the research, into clever writing, into building a smart system, instead of having to perform for an audience.
And honestly, that little shift in perspective, it's everything. For so many of us, the word marketing just feels like bragging. This approach turns it into a puzzle. How can I find a common problem and present a really helpful solution in the most elegant and compelling way? It becomes about your intellect, not your ego. Ultimately, what this introvert's funnel does is it completely challenges our idea of what selling has to look like. It proves you don't need a megaphone to make a sale. Sometimes, all you really need is a well-crafted question, a clear answer, and a quiet invitation.